Welcome to the podcast. Today we're traveling back more than 2,000 years to a world of powerful warriors, legendary gods, great philosophers, and mysterious cities. Today we're talking about ancient Greece, one of the most influential civilizations in human history. So sit back, relax, and let's travel through time. What was ancient Greece? Ancient Greece wasn't one single country like Greece is today. Instead, it was made up of many independent city-states known as polei. Some of the most famous were Athens, Sparta, Corinth, and Thebes. Each city-state had its own government, laws, army, and traditions. Athens became famous for learning, art, philosophy, and democracy. Sparta, on the other hand, was famous for its powerful military society. The two cities were very different, but both played an important role in Greek history. Let's start with Athens. Athens developed one of the earliest known forms of democracy. The word democracy comes from ancient Greek words meaning roughly rule by the people. However, Athenian democracy was very different from modern democracy. Women, enslaved people, and many foreigners could not participate in political life. Athens was also a center of philosophy and education. It was home to famous thinkers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Now let's travel to Sparta. Spartan society was built around military strength. Boys were trained from a young age to become soldiers, and discipline was extremely important. The Spartans became famous throughout the ancient world for their courage and military skills. Ancient Greek culture was deeply connected to religion. The Greeks believed in many gods and goddesses. According to Greek mythology, many of the most powerful gods lived on Mount Olympus. There was Zeus, the king of the gods and god of the sky. Athena was the goddess of wisdom and warfare. Poseidon ruled the sea. Aphrodite was associated with love and beauty, and Hades ruled the underworld. The Greeks created thousands of myths about these gods, heroes, monsters, and adventures. Stories about Heracles, Perseus, Theseus, Achilles, and Odysseus have survived for thousands of years. The Persian Wars, ancient Greece also faced enormous threats. One of the greatest came from the Persian Empire. During the early 5th century BC, Greek city-states fought against Persian invasions. One famous event was the Battle of Thermopylae, where a small Greek force led by King Leonidas of Sparta fought a much larger Persian army. Although the Spartans and their allies were eventually defeated, their resistance became one of the most famous stories of ancient history. The Greeks later achieved important victories, including the naval battle of Salamis, the Golden Age of Athens. After the Persian Wars, Athens became extremely powerful. During the 5th century BC, Athens experienced a period often associated with a cultural golden age. Beautiful buildings were constructed, including the Parthenon on the Acropolis. Philosophy, theater, science, history, and art flourished. This was the world of Socrates, who encouraged people to question everything. It was also the world of Plato, who founded the Academy, and Aristotle, who studied subjects ranging from biology and politics to philosophy. Many ideas developed during this period continue to influence the modern world. Alexander the Great. But Greek history didn't stop with Athens and Sparta. In the 4th century BC, a young Macedonian king changed the ancient world. His name was Alexander the Great. Alexander created one of the largest empires of the ancient world. His armies conquered territories stretching from Greece and Egypt all the way to parts of Persia and India. Alexander also helped spread Greek language and culture across much of the eastern Mediterranean and Asia. After his death, his empire was divided among his generals. This began the Hellenistic period, when Greek culture mixed with cultures from Egypt, Persia, and other regions. The Olympic Games. And we can't talk about ancient Greece without mentioning the Olympic Games. The ancient Olympics were held at Olympia in honor of Zeus. Athletes competed in events such as running, wrestling, boxing, and chariot racing. The Games were very different from the modern Olympics, but they established a tradition that continues today, the legacy of ancient Greece. So why does ancient Greece still matter? Because its influence can be found almost everywhere. Democracy, philosophy, theater, architecture, mathematics, science, literature, mythology, and the Olympic tradition have all been influenced by ancient Greek civilization. Even today, we continue to read the stories of Greek heroes, study the ideas of Greek philosophers, and admire ancient Greek architecture. Ancient Greece may have disappeared as a civilization thousands of years ago, but its ideas are still alive. And that brings us to the end of our journey through ancient Greece. From the warriors of Sparta to the philosophers of Athens, from the gods of Mount Olympus to the conquests of Alexander the Great, ancient Greece left a remarkable mark on the world. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to join us again for another journey through history. Until next time, remember the past may be ancient, but its stories are still alive.